Hey there guys, what's going on? Gale right here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another DANMACHI MEMORIA FREEZE video. And today, this video is going to be talking about what I personally do in my dailies. Basically, covering everything I do on a day-to-day basis when I wake up or whenever I get onto the game for the first time. This is me detailing exactly what I do. So if you guys go on to enjoy this video, smash the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. And of course, comment down below things you may do that's a bit different. And of course, veteran players, if you guys have been playing for a very long time, you think you don't need this video, do watch it nonetheless, because A, watch time, but B, also, you know, you guys can help out in the sense of like anything you guys would suggest to new players that they should be doing on a daily basis as well. Now, let's start off with this first and foremost. So this is the first thing you see when you get into the game for the first time. You tap to start, you get in, you get past the login screen and everything. Obviously, the first thing you do is pick up all your dailies and stuff, all the stuff you get from your login bonus and everything. You pick it up from the present list, of course. You collect everything. The next thing I personally do is I just go and talk to everybody on the screen here. And the reason why I do this is to increase my CP for each character that's here. Now, this thing that happens on your screen right now, the one where you can talk to everybody, the people on screen can reset on effectively an 8-hour basis, if I'm not mistaken. Every 8 hours they make sure to reset it, basically, so that you can basically go in and talk to new people basically and be able to increase the CP that way. Now, the game wants you to only talk to 3 characters on a daily basis, pretty much, so that once you log in, one of the missions for your dailies is to just talk to 3 people on screen right here. I personally talk to everybody and I reset it so that it goes on to every character. So obviously I'm running around as Eyes right now. What I tend to do as well is I reset it to Lafia next. I switch over to Lafia, then I switch over to Belle as well. I'm not going to do that on screen right now because I feel like that would be way too long and I'm just going in and around just talking to every single character and everything. But this is the reason why I do this, is just so that, like you saw there with Lulun, I managed to increase her CP level from 24 to 25, which is really handy because CP levels, like I say, they give you stats and they give you iris rewards, which is very handy. It's a great free way of increasing CP. And I've always said this, and I know I had this discussion with somebody in a Discord actually regarding CP levels and stuff. But CP levels is very vital, and it's always why I recommend, if you don't own that character and it's on a banner, like for example Lyra and Kaguya, I always recommend to go and try and do at least one multi to see if you can at least get one of the 2 characters, which you should, because guaranteed featured, right? But if you can get both in the long term, that's great. In the short term, of course, you're losing 400 iris, but in the long term, once you start leveling up your character CP and stuff like that, especially if you're a new player, I know it's hard to get CP levels, but in the long run, it's extremely easy. It's very easy to do, and in the long run, it's just a great source of iris, in all honesty. So highly recommend that. So yeah, there you go. I've done Lafia's and Isis right there. So now I would do Bells usually, but let's move on to the next thing, what I do. Now, personally, what I do next is I go into enhanced level and status and I level up a single character to their limit break, because one of the requirements and one of the dailies is also boosting level or status boards. Of course, because I have so many items, I have a lot of inventory, basically, is the best way to put it. I just can do this very easily. I know as a starting player it's a little bit difficult, so usually what I would do is level up slowly but surely, not do everything at once where I'm leveling up and then I'm releasing all their status boards and unlocking it. That's something to bear in mind. So yeah, I usually do that, and then I move out and then I save up the other characters for future dailies as well, because the thing is, right, is inevitably if I were to max out every single character right now in the game, at a point I would not be able to do my dailies anymore, technically, because I can't boost my status board or level up any character in the future because I just don't have that physical capability. So what I do is I tend to leave a lot of characters that I don't necessarily use at the moment or are extremely old, like these kindergarten units or the child units. I don't level them up because, well, 1, I don't have dupes in them, but 2, they're really old units. They're they're 1 year units. They're literally year 1 units, so I don't tend to level them up. I just save them for future dailies and stuff. So I level them up on a daily basis. I don't level up multiple characters every single day, even though technically leveling up and boosting a character gives you iris as well. Bear that in mind. So yeah, now we move on to the next thing I do. So the next thing I do is I go to quest, and one of the other dailies that you should do is clearing one story event, basically. So any story event. Now of course I leave some of the more latest stuff, I leave that to do on a daily basis, basically, right, outside of the hardest difficulty, so that I can create videos for you guys, so that you guys can do, potentially challenge these really hard stages like outcome, right? But what I tend to otherwise do, if let's say I'm done with this, right, I've only got hard and very hard of this. So what else I do in order to make sure that I'm still doing this stage is I go all the way to the bottom. I go to episode 3, and I do the very hard stage of boss 310, because what that does is it gives you a lot of CP. I say a lot of CP. It gives you a decent amount of CP. So what you should do is, if you're increasing the CP of, let's say, Lyra, right, I would run this team, and I would just go into the event and just use this team so that I can increase the CP of Lyra, Elmina, and any other character that I'm trying to increase the CP of. Of course, this team is not a very good example, because I'm pretty sure Lyra is at like 30 plus effectively. Same with everybody else in this list right now, or in this character, in this team right now. But if I were you, or if I were, actually doing CP farms right now, and if I were doing it on any stage, I would take my lowest CP characters, the ones that are like level 15 to level 20 basically, and just chuck them into a team and just, let them rip any stage in the future. Because anything that requires stamina, or you're farming, let's say you're farming the event, right, do that, throw them in there so that you can maximize their CP. So yeah, the next thing I do is finish this off. That's done, right? We move on to the next main daily, which is clearing out the Falna and Exilia quests. Now this is very simple. I just do one of these stages. I just tend to have a look and see which one I need the most. Like in this case, I definitely need more agility Falna, so I'll do agility Falna right now. We'll take the light team for now, just to make things faster. But I tend to just look at what Falna I need, and then just go there. I think the pink one is the dexterity Falna. The dexterity Falna is super easy for me. I don't really necessarily need it. So as you guys could see, I think I was like at 9999 plus basically for that. So I don't really need those Falna, that type of Falna, so I stick to trying to do agility Falna when that day comes around and stuff like that. But this basically allows me to finish it off easily. I get a good stock of the Falna that I need, obviously, to level up characters and stuff, and I can move on with my day through this. So it's not really something I should stress about too much. And of course, doing this stage can potentially drop a hero Falna, which is always nice. It's always nice. A lot of people kind of do need it, especially once you start getting to the higher limit breaks and stuff. It's very much required. So once that is done, we move on to the Exilia quest. We clear this as well. This is very easy. I just save one unlock for each day. Now, of course, if you're a new player and you need the books, right, something to consider is maximizing the 59 minutes you get from this Exilia quest, where you keep it on repeat and start doing it again and again and again, so that you can get a good stock of books happening. But in all honesty, like I said, many a times, after a point in time, once you're done, farming a lot of the events, once you're done getting to a certain stage, maybe like say rank 70, rank 80, you're gonna be in a position where you're gonna be able to get away with not having to do these stages multiple times. Same with Valis, same with Falna. It's not really something you should necessarily worry about too much, because inevitably you get to a point where this is sort of like common. It's a very common material. You don't need it. You don't necessarily need it. Alright, so now that's done, we move on to the other section. Now, of course, since 7 zone has reset, usually I would do 7 zone just to get that done and out of the way. But the main thing I would focus here is the dispatch quest, because dispatch quests reset. You have to remember, they reset on a 12-hour basis. It's a 12-hour basis. So the morning board resets it's 24 hours technically, but the morning board resets every 24 hours, and then the evening board resets every 24 hours. But something to bear in mind, also, by the way, dispatch quest guide will happen in the future. I'm just waiting to get certain dispatch quests again, basically, in my section, so that I can make a dispatch quest video. But effectively you just put recommended, it would go accordingly and go from there, right? Now the main thing you want to note is that you have to check in every 12 hours for this, because the morning board resets of course in the morning and the evening board resets in the evening. Now of course I have both ready because I haven't I logged in the morning yesterday, did it again, and now I'm doing it again. So every 24 hours you should be still fine to do it. It's not really a problem in that regards. You can come back every 24 hours, but if you're really gonna want to check again in 12 hours time, you'll be fine pretty much. But there you go. So the dispatch quest is the next section I look at. I actually need to check that thing out. 1 second. What is that? That is the 1000 elf request. I'll need to do that at a later point. But again, like I said, the special board guide will come out inevitably as well. The dispatch quest guide will just come out generally as well. So once that is done, I've done all the stuff I need to do in the quest. The next thing I do is I go into arena. Now in arena, I would do Undertale Skira. I've already done my attempts. I thought of this video after I had done that part of the dailies actually. But I would do my Undertale Skira event as well. Get that done and out of the way. And then I would go into either War Games or Wreck-It Buster and make sure to get those runs done in, the dailies or whatever. Just get my 10 runs in. Or if it's Wreck-It Buster, get my 1 daily run in, basically, right? Now, of course, I reached King 1 last time round, so I got a bonus score of 600, which makes me go a little bit faster when it comes to getting through the ranks of War Games. So somebody asked me actually, how do they when do we start getting the bonus score? So the bonus score only happens once you reach King 3. Once you reach King 3, the next War Games, you will get a bonus score of, I think it's 200 or something. So bear that in mind if you're trying to get a bonus score for the next next War Games, not next Familiar War Games. Next War Games, you want to try and make sure you're getting at least King 3. A bit tricky, I know, but yeah. And to be honest, I will admit, it's not really that crazily important, to be quite honest. And I'll say this frankly, because one, if you are diligent, you've been playing every single day, you play every 12 hours or every 10 hours, you're gonna be maximizing your War Games passes anyways. This is sort of a way for players to just get a little bit cheeky and get out of the way, or get it done really early so that they don't have to worry about it. So that's something to bear in mind. Like for me personally, I love it because if I miss certain passes, or if I'm, not spending my passes regularly and I'm, busy with something else, I can kind of just be like, okay, I have this backup 600 score that I managed to get from last season to this season, and I don't have to worry about me not, missing. Let's say I miss a day. I don't have to worry too much about it because I have the 600 score in my back pocket. That's basically a day's worth of War Games effectively. So that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, I would always do my War Games passes so that they're done and dusted. I don't have to worry too much about it at all. And of course, it just makes my life a lot easier because I remember to do it as well. But that's pretty much all my dailies. So to give you guys a bit of a rundown on what you do, first thing you do when you log in is go to the gift shop, go to the gift tab, I should say, and collect your gifts and stuff, your login bonuses and all that jazz. Then start talking to everybody, literally every single person. Switch between Eyes, Lafia, and Belle so that you can get all the CP levels from them as well, or how many ever CP levels you can get pretty much. Of course, at a point it becomes really slow, and it's like you might get one character in like 10 days or something to another CP level because of that. The next thing you want to do is level up a character. Don't level up multiple characters, it's not required. Just level up one character a day and make sure that they get to the next point in their limit break or their release uncap, I suppose. Let's go with uncap. So get to their uncap. The next thing you do is go to your quest tab and start doing at least one story per day. Of course, if you have any story left over, do that, or go into episode 3 and do one of the stages there to maximize your CP rewards basically there. Next, Falna quest and Exilia quest. Exilia quest is very easy. Try and maximize as much as possible the time that you are given to do the Exilia quest if you need the books. Otherwise, just do one run and head on out. Falna quest, go for the Falna that you want the most, and of course hopefully you can get a little bit lucky and get the hero Falna from that event as well. The final thing you want to do in the quest tab is go into your dispatch quest, clear out your dispatches, do the recommended units, and go from there. Obviously, dispatch quest gives you decent rewards on a daily basis, something you should probably do nonetheless, and it's a good way to get CP levels up as well, because you do actually get CP rewards for sending your characters out on that dispatch quest. So something to bear in mind. The next thing you want to do is probably farm up the event a little bit. I didn't mention it earlier on when we were there for a split second, but if you go into the event tab and you have any events left over and you want to farm a little bit, do that potentially, but I would always save that till last, to be quite honest, because then it's like if you want to leave your phone to farm or something like that, you can do that. The next thing you want to do is go into the arena, do Undertale Skira, and then do either Record Buster or War Games, whatever is live. Do those runs so that you remember that that's actually there and something you should do. But there you have it. Those are all the dailies you should be doing as a new player. And if any veteran players have any suggestions in terms of like, oh, you should be doing this or you should be doing that, leave it in the comment section down below. It would be greatly appreciated, and I think a lot of the new players would also love to see what people do on a daily basis as well. I apologize if I was sounding a little bit all over the place in this video. To be quite honest, like I said, I'm kind of doing it as I go along, and usually I don't really talk about my dailies when I'm going through my dailies, so it's a little bit weird in that regards, and as such, I apologize if it did sound a little bit weird at times. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I could help you guys in some way, shape or form when it comes to this, of course. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm about to be done with my War Games passes. This is the last stage. And yeah, one thing to note actually about War Games, the first 10 opponents are always bots. They're not real players, so that's the reason why it may seem a lot easy or very, very easier for a lot of players. But there you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, appreciate all of y'all for tuning into these videos. We're so close to 500 subs, so a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. But even if you can't subscribe, leave a like at least. It would be greatly appreciated nonetheless, so that I know you guys are enjoying the videos in some way, shape or form. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.